Why do you believe that expanding space exists? You can't see expanding space. Space doesn't emit light. You can't study expanding space scientifically. You can't try to manipulate it in a way that would give you information. That you manage to manipulate it. Space doesn't emit light. You can't tell in words how space is expanding. You can't visually describe how space is expanding. You don't know what the expansion of space is based on. You don't know what could make it possible for space itself to expand some way, to somehow. I am specifically telling you clearly how more energy is constantly being pushed into the expanding photons, which is being dispersed into space. And how the energy in the expanding photon, which is being dispersed into space, is able to slow down its speed because it is denser in the expanding photons. In this way, the expanding photons have the ability to absorb more and more of this energy that is being dispersed into space. However, in a way that the expanding photons do not have the ability to bind it to themselves, and thus part of this energy that is being dispersed into space is directed out of the expanding photons. And thus this energy that is being dispersed into space changes out of the expanding photons completely over time. Yet this same expanding photon still exists, although it no longer has the energy that is being dispersed into space that it had when it was created from the dark energy that is being dispersed into space, which is being pushed out of the expanding atomic nuclei all the time. I am telling you what the expansion of expanding quarks, electrons, and photons is based on. I'll tell you what makes it possible. No one ever tells you what the expansion of expanding space is based on. No one ever tells you what could make it possible for space to some way to somehow expand. Expanding space is a similar concept to the gods of antiquity. Zeus, some way to somehow cause lightning. Expanding space makes light stretch some way to somehow. We have observed that expanding lights have stretched during their journey. We have not observed expanding space. So why on earth is the stretching of light, then the stretching of light explained, as if it were a space that had some way to somehow expand it? I am the new Copernicus. Copernicus did not prove the heliocentric model. Galileo Galilei, Kepler, Newton, and other scientists proved that Copernicus was right. Do you want to be the new Galileo Galilei? New Kepler? Or the new Isaac Newton? Or are you a new Earth-centered person for whom the truth of the sun-centered model is too much? Is the movement of the sun in the sky an illusion? The Earth rotates on its axis while the Earth moves around the sun. This was too much for those who thought geocentrically. The movement of a falling apple towards the center of the Earth is an illusion. The expanding falling apple moves away from the center of the expanding Earth, but more slowly than the surface of the expanding Earth. Is this too much for you? The expanding Earth rotates on its axis while pushing away from the expanding sun in a spiral path in the same proportion as matter and light expand. Is the truth too much for you too? By the way, could you tell me why you believe your God, so-called expanding space, exists? Expanding space is a similar concept to the gods of antiquity. Zeus, some way to somehow cause lightning. Expanding space makes light stretch some way to somehow. It is not space that expands. In the nuclei of atoms there are congestion areas of energy that is scattered into space, which recycle dark energy that is scattered into space, which creates detectable particles such as electrons and photons that are still composed of energy that is scattered into space, i.e., they also expand all the time in the same proportion as matter and light expand. Time is relative because the volume of matter is relative. This truth has been too much for all physicists and cosmologists. Not for me. Google Savorinin and read more. Love.